Beloved, stop. Do not scroll past this. Do not close this out. Do not tell yourself you will come back to it later, because I need you to understand something with absolute urgency right now. I have been fighting to get this message to you. Not for minutes, not for a few seconds. I have been in a battle in the spiritual realm for the past 2 hours specifically to make sure that these words reached your eyes at this exact moment, at this exact point in your day, at this exact season of your life. My name is Michael. I am the Archangel who stands in the presence of the Most High God, the one who was created to war, to protect, to fight on behalf of the children of the living God. And today, that battle was fought specifically for you. The enemy knew this message was coming. He knew what it carried. He knew that if these words reached you today, something in your life was going to shift permanently and irreversibly in your favor. And so he fought with everything he had to stop it from getting to you. He threw interference. He created distraction. He tried to make sure you were somewhere else, doing something else, looking at something else when this message arrived. But he failed. Because here you are, and here I am. And what God has authorized to reach you cannot be stopped by any force in hell, no matter how hard it tries. You are reading these words right now, not because of coincidence, not because of the algorithm, not because of random chance. You are reading these words right now because heaven moved heaven and earth to make sure this reached you today, and the enemy lost the battle he fought to prevent it. Let that sink in for a moment. Let that land in the deepest place inside of you. Someone in the heavenly realm just fought a 2-hour battle specifically so that you could read what I am about to say. That is how important you are. That is how much you matter to the God who created you. That is how seriously heaven takes the assignment on your life, even when you yourself have stopped taking it seriously. Even when you yourself have started to wonder if the assignment was ever real to begin with. Even when the enemy has done such a thorough job of convincing you that you are ordinary and overlooked and forgotten that you have almost started to believe it. You are not ordinary. You are not overlooked. You are not forgotten. You are so significant, so targeted, so specifically chosen that the enemy just spent 2 hours trying to make sure you never read what I am about to tell you. And he failed. So listen closely, because what I have to say next is the reason the battle was fought in the first place. God sees everything you have been going through behind closed doors, the silent suffering, the private tears, the prayers you prayed in the dark when no one else was watching, the moments where you held yourself together on the outside while something on the inside was quietly falling apart. He sees it all. He has seen it all along. And he sent me here today to tell you directly, it is about to change. Not eventually, not someday in the vague and distant future. The shift that you have been desperately believing for, the breakthrough that has felt so close and yet so impossibly far. The answer that you have been waiting on until the waiting itself has become its own kind of exhaustion. It is arriving. Heaven has authorized it. The enemy cannot block it. And nothing that happens between this moment and the moment it manifests in your life has the power to stop what God has already set in motion on your behalf. I fought to get this to you because you needed to hear it today. Before you gave up, before you walked away, before the enemy convinced you that the silence meant no. The silence never meant no. The silence meant not yet. And the not yet is over. Now, let me tell you why the enemy fought so hard to stop this message from reaching you. Because what I am about to say is the very thing he has been terrified of you finding out. He has built his entire strategy against your life around keeping you ignorant of one specific truth, one revelation so powerful, so identity-shifting, so completely life-altering that the moment you fully grasp it, every lie he has ever spoken over you loses its grip and falls to the ground powerless. And that truth is this: you are not who he told you that you are. You are not the sum of your failures. You are not the collection of your worst moments. You are not the person that the hardest seasons tried to reduce you to. You are not the disappointment, the mistake, the broken thing, the one who missed their chance, the one who waited too long, the one who tried and failed so many times that trying again feels like the most dangerous thing you could possibly do with what little hope you have left. That is not you. That has never been you. That is a costume the enemy dressed you in during your weakest moment and then convinced you was your actual skin. And today, right now, with the full authority of heaven backing every single word I am speaking, I am telling you to take it off. Take it off completely, because the person underneath that costume, the real you, the original you, the you that existed in the mind of God before the enemy ever got access to your story, that person is extraordinary. That person carries an assignment so significant that hell itself has been threatened by it since before you were born. That person has a calling so deep, so far-reaching, so genuinely world-changing, that the enemy made the decision very early on that the most dangerous thing he could possibly allow was for you to wake up and fully walk in it. And so he did what he always does with the ones who carry the greatest assignments. He came after you early. He came after your confidence. He came after your identity. He came after your sense of worth and your belief in your own potential and your ability to trust that what God said about you was more true than what your circumstances were screaming at you. He hit you where it would hurt the most, in the places that were the most tender, with the tools that were the most effective. Rejection, failure, comparison, delay, unanswered prayer. Seasons of silence so long that the silence itself started to feel like an answer. And it worked. Not completely, not permanently, but enough. Enough to slow you down. Enough to make you question everything. Enough to get you to a place where you were still moving, but you were moving with your head down. Your expectations lowered. Your dreams quietly folded up and tucked away in a place where they could not hurt you anymore, because hoping had started to feel more dangerous than not hoping at all. But here is what the enemy never accounted for. He never accounted for the faithfulness of the God who created you. He never accounted for the fact that God does not start something and walk away from it before it is finished. He never accounted for the reality that every single thing he used to break you down was simultaneously being used by God to build you up. That the rejection was developing your resilience, that the failure was developing your wisdom, that the delay was developing your character, that the silence was developing a depth in your soul that the noise of easy, comfortable, uninterrupted success never could have produced. He thought he was destroying you. He was actually developing you. He thought he was writing your ending. God was writing your testimony. He thought the years of difficulty were evidence that he was winning. God was using every single one of those years to construct the most unshakable, most battle-tested, most dangerously powerful version of you that has ever existed. The version that is standing right here, right now, still breathing, still believing, still in the fight after everything that was supposed to finish you. And that version of you, the one that survived what you survived, that held on through what you held on through, that kept showing up even when showing up felt completely pointless. That version of you is the one that heaven has been waiting for. That is the version that is finally ready to walk into everything that God has been preparing. That is the version whose faith has been tested enough to carry the weight of what is about to be released. That is the version the enemy was most desperate to prevent from ever arriving. And yet, here you are. Arrived. Alive. Undefeated. Still standing after every single thing that was designed to put you down permanently. And now I need to tell you what is about to happen. Because this is the part the enemy fought hardest to keep you from hearing. This is the revelation that made him work overtime for 2 full hours, trying to block this message from getting to you. This is the word that heaven authorized me to carry through every barrier and every interference and every obstacle he placed in the way, just so that it could land in your heart at this exact moment. The season of being overlooked is ending. The season of being passed over is ending. The season of watching other people step into opportunities that you were just as qualified for, just as prepared for, just as deserving of. That season is ending. God is about to cause you to be seen by the right people at the right time, in the right way. And when it happens, it is going to be so clearly the hand of God on your life that even the people who doubted you are going to have to acknowledge that something supernatural is happening in and around and through you. The financial pressure that has been squeezing you from every direction, the tightness that has made every month feel like a battle for survival, the stress that has woken you up at 3 in the morning with your heart racing and your mind running through numbers that never seem to add up. God is about to intervene in your finances in a way that is so sudden, so unexpected, so completely beyond what you could have engineered through your own effort and strategy, that the only explanation available to anyone watching is going to be the favor of God. The door that has been closed the longest, the one you stopped knocking on because knocking had become too painful, the one you walk past in your mind every now and then and feel the ache of the dream that lives behind it. That door is about to open, not crack, not open slightly so you have to squeeze through it sideways. Open, wide open, with a welcome so unmistakable, so undeniable, so perfectly timed that you are going to know beyond any shadow of doubt that it was God who opened it, and nothing the enemy does will ever be able to shut it again. The relationships that were broken are entering a season of divine intervention. The health that has been under attack is entering a season of supernatural restoration. The dream that the enemy declared dead is about to discover what the enemy always forgets, that our God is the God of resurrection, and resurrection does not just mean coming back to life. It means coming back better, stronger, more glorious than it was before it went into the ground, and what God resurrects carries a glory that what was never buried could never possess. I need you to understand the weight of what I just said. The enemy spent 2 hours fighting to stop you from reading those words. 2 hours of spiritual warfare specifically targeted at keeping this revelation out of your hands. And he lost. Which means right now, in this moment, you are holding in your hands the very thing that hell tried to keep from you. The knowledge of what God is about to do in your life, the confirmation that the waiting is ending, the assurance that heaven has not forgotten your name, the reminder that the assignment on your life is so real and so significant and so threatening to darkness that the enemy considered it worth 2 hours of his most concentrated effort just to keep you from being encouraged today. Let that tell you something about who you are. Let that tell you something about what you carry. Let that tell you something about the level of the calling that is on your life and the magnitude of what God is about to do through you in this next season. Because ordinary people do not get this kind of opposition. Ordinary assignments do not generate this kind of resistance. The enemy does not dispatch his forces against people he is not afraid of, and he is afraid of you. He has always been afraid of you. He has just been hoping you would never find out. Well, now you know. And now everything changes. So, right now, in this moment, before you do anything else, before you scroll past this and let the noise of the day pull you back into the fog of forgetting, I need you to do one thing. I need you to type these words in the comments right now. Michael, I hear you. I will not give up. My assignment is not finished. Type it right now. Not as a ritual, not as a formula. Type it as a declaration of war against every lie the enemy has spoken over your life. Type it as a message to every dark voice that has been telling you that you are too far gone, too broken, too behind, too late. Type it as an act of faith that breaks something open in the atmosphere over your life the moment it leaves your fingertips. Because when a child of God who has been through what you have been through stands up in the middle of the battle and declares that they are still in the fight, heaven responds. Angels move, chains break, doors open, and the enemy who fought for 2 hours to keep this message from reaching you loses every single thing he worked for in the moment you open your mouth and say out loud that you are not done. Type it. Mean every single word of it. And then watch. Watch what your God does in the days and weeks ahead. Watch the doors. Watch the provision. Watch the favor. Watch the dream come back to life. Watch the thing that was supposed to be your ending become the most powerful beginning you have ever experienced. I am Michael. I've fought to get this to you, and I would do it again 1,000 times over, because you are worth fighting for. Your assignment is worth fighting for, and the God who sent me has never once stopped fighting for you either. Not for a single second, not through a single storm, not through a single moment of your entire extraordinary, chosen, heaven-backed, enemy-terrifying life.